Welcome back, guys. I'm sorry I left you guys with a crash in the last video, but hopefully you were able to move past that, or if you are here now, then let's just continue. So I mentioned that the collection view didn't know what the category collection view cell meant, right? So how do we fix that? We're just going to head over to our home view controller, and right at the top where we have our register cells, we're going to have to register a new cell to the to the collection view. Now, if we're going to be using this guy, I'm going to copy this and paste, and this time around we're going to be registering this to our next collection view cell. Now let's go to our Main.Storyboard, and we're going to create an outlet for our collection view cell. And so just hold down Control, make sure the guy is selected. This is it, and we're going to drag this right here and call this popular collection view, like that. Awesome. Good. So we already have the delegate and data source set from our last video, right? So what I'm going to do here, let's close this, is get back to this place, and now we can just say popular collection view cell, and let's run this collection view. Now, are we going to experience another crash? Can you guess? If you guessed yes, then you are wrong. Awesome. So this is what I was expecting to show you in the last video. And the reason this is happening is because we pretty much, at this point, we're simply saying for every cell, right, we want to render this particular design, right? This isn't what we exactly want. We want our popular dishes right here. We want this guy to have a different style of display. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head back into our custom views right here, our collection view cells, and we're going to create a new folder. And because I don't know how to name stuff, I'm going to call this what should I do? Dish portrait. Did I it amazes me how I spell some stupid things. Anyway, so I'm gonna call this dish portrait, because this is like a portrait shot, portrait view. So this is gonna be dish portrait collection view cell. All right. So we're gonna do the same thing that we did in our last video. So we're gonna create a new collection view cell. This is going to be dish portrait, like that, and we're gonna click next and create. Great, so let's get rid of this guy. We don't need that here. And this is where we're going to implement our design. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add a view, which is going to serve as our card view, if you will. So yep, 0, 0, 0, 0. And remember to remove the clips to bounds, or clip, like that. And this is going to have to conform to our card view. Now for the height, I'm just going to set this to be 300. And the width, I'm going to set to be 180. Sweet. So let's actually just correct this, guys. So the width is 180 and the height is 300. So yep, the error is gone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a stack view right over here. So I need a vertical stack, and the stack view is going to have like 8 pixels padding, like that. And then we're going to add some stuff into our stack view. The first thing we're going to need to add is a label for the title, like that. Then we're going to have an image view. So we're just going to put that over here, right under the label. Then we're going to have another label. It's going to hold the calories, right? And then finally we're going to have one more label that's going to serve as the description. And you can see why I actually love stack views. It's just you add constraint to the stack view, and every other thing underneath it just basically, you know, aligns themselves. So yeah, I'm going to add a little spacing to the stack view. It's just going to add like 8 pixels, like that. So all of them have like 8 pixel spacing. Makes sense? So for this big boy over here, we're going to center this guy like that, and we're going to make it like medium a little bit bold. Medium, I guess. All right, medium looks good. For this guy, we're gonna make it like 12, I think. 12 looks good. And for the calories, we're just gonna use like this red, which I believe is our app color. And for this guy, we're gonna make this like 15, if I'm not mistaken. One more, 14. Awesome. And we're gonna set the text color of this guy to like system gray. Okay. So this looks good. Now the next thing we're going to need to do, of course, is to connect this guy to our, to the class. So make outlets like that. So click on the assistant editor and just click on this guy. And now I'm going to start with this bad boy and just hold down Control, click, drag. I'm going to call this title label. Next guy is this big boy over here. And I'm going to call this dish image view. All right. Then we're going to have the calories as, let's call it calories label, I believe. And then finally, we're going to have the description. So we're going to have description label. Great. So just like our last video, we're going to need to have our setup function. So just say func setup, and this is going to expect a particular type of data. So this is dish. So I'm just going to create a type dish. So we're going to copy that, head over to our models, and create a new Swift file and call this dish. So now we have dish over here. This is going to be called dish. And for the attributes, we're going to have ID as string. So now I figure out how to spell that. And you can say next one we're going to have name as string. And actually one thing I like to do whenever I'm dealing with API calls and stuff, especially when I'm trying to decode, is I like to make them optional, just in case one of the attributes is not available in the backend. It does not crash this, right? It still returns it as an optional. So it's always safer to have the optional right over here. All right. So yeah, but if you're completely 100% sure that it will always be there, then you can just go ahead and do like this, just like we did in the dish category right here. All right. So actually, I'm just gonna do that, make it optional, and let's go back over here, do it like this. And because I'm extremely lazy, I'm just gonna do all of them like this. So we have name, we have description, we have the image, and yeah, then we have calories. So calories is of a different type. So this is calories, and this is going to be of type double. Okay. Now, because this is a double, and what I want to do is I want to have something like 10 calories or 50 calories or something like that. All right. So what I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to create a computed property called formatted calories, and this is going to return a string. Now, right here, I'm going to say string, and I'm going to say format. Yep. Now this is going to take in two things. The first one we're going to have, what did I get that? Format like this. Alright, so I got it. So this is going to accept a string, and right here I'm just going to do %2f, I believe. I'm not completely sure if it's 2f or .2f, but anyhow, the argument, this is going to have calories like this, and because it's optional, it's going to default to 0. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our dish portrait CollectionViewCell, and now we can actually update the values of these fields. So the first thing we're going to do over here is say title label dot text, and this is going to be equal to dish dot has a name. Yep. Then we're going to have the same thing for dish image view, but this is going to be kf dot set image, and again this is going to be dish .image .as URL. So you can see how our extension is very helpful. Next, we're going to have calories label. The dot and text is going to be equal to dish, And rather than using calories, we're going to use the formatted calories. See that? That makes sense. Then we're going to have our description finally. So description label dot text, and this is going to be equal to the dish dot our description. Awesome. So we're done with our setup. Let's actually go over to our home view controller and connect. So we're going to go to the home view controller, and so here, rather than registering this guy, we're going to need to register the new one we just created. So let's go back and create a constant. Where are you, my friend? Yeesh. Nope, this boy. Right, so here we're going to have a static constant called identifier, and this is going to be equal to string like this. Well, let me just show you that you don't always have to do this. So I'm just going to paste this as a string like this. All right, so did we set the reuse identifier? We need to confirm that. So get back to your CollectionViewCell and make sure you select the cell like that, and in your this guy attribute inspector, no attribute inspector, then you're gonna have to set the identifier. Awesome. So now we can go back to our home view controller, and we're gonna change this guy to this, change this guy to this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go over here. So for the collection view, what we're doing over here is we are returning the size or the data for the categories, but this is a different section or a different collection view entirely, right? So what we want to do is we want to come over here and we want to create our data source for the popular dishes. So I'm just going to say popular or populars, I don't know, and this is going to be of type dish or an array of dish. What, 2 times, man, really? So now over here what we're going to do is let's just create like 3 dishes or 2. So ID 1, name Gary, this is the best I have ever tasted. My brain is messed up right now, man. I can't even spell. Well, I'm just gonna copy this for the same image, and for category, calories, I'm gonna use 34 point this. I don't even know. I think calories are integers. Oh, well, this is our app. Do as you wish. So I just want to see if it uses the 2 decimal places. All right, that's why I'm trying this. So let's go ahead and add some more. So 3 like that, and this I'm gonna make Indomie. Even Indomie, I can't spell. So Indomie like that, and finally, what for in say pizza. All right, so this is okay. I'm gonna make this like 100. No, let's make this like 100 or 2. 100 doesn't want to come. All right, so let's see what or how this appears. So now this is what we want to get from whenever we're dealing with popular dishes. So we're gonna go over to our number of items and sections, and this time we're going to need to make some checks, right? So I want to know what collection view is being rendered. So I'm going to have a switch statement, and we're going to be switching the collection view. So we're going to say case, and the first case we have is the category collection view. So the second, which is what we just got right now, is going to be the popular like this. Then we're just going to have a default like this, which is going to return 0. All right. Now for the category, we have this. For the popular, we want to return the populars dot count. Okay. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to need to do the same thing for the cell, right? So I'm just going to come like this and paste this over here. Now for the categories, we're going to cut this, well, not just that, including the return. And for categories, we're just going to paste this over here. And let's actually just minimize that. Then for the popular dishes, we're going to return something else. Apologies, my system is pretty slow. I'm going to need to give it a break soon enough. Now for the default, we're going to return UI CollectionViewCell, just an empty cell for the default. We shouldn't even get here, at least not now. So for this guy, we don't want to use the category CollectionViewCell. Instead, we want to use the dish or dish portrait CollectionViewCell. I believe this is the class. Good. I'm going to paste this like this, and this has a setup function as well, but this time it expects a dish, right? So we're going to need to change that, and this is going to get from the popular. Okay, so I think we're okay. So let's go ahead and run this and see what we have. Hopefully everything is working as it should. Oh, so we have an error. Let's see what that is. So, ooh, my system is messed up. So over here, okay. Okay, so the image is optional, so we're supposed to have a, like an optional there. So I think that should do it. Is that correct? Woo! All right, pretty neat, pretty neat. So we have our collection view, and we can see all of the dishes are properly displayed, right, for the cells at least. But now we gotta style this just like we did this other one right here. So I'm gonna go over to, where is that, the Main.Storyboard. And we're gonna click on the popular collection, and let's get this guy back. So the first thing we're gonna do first, well, like we did in the last one, we're gonna hide the scrolls, and we're gonna make this guy scroll horizontally. All right. And for the spacing, let's see. I guess I'm just gonna leave the spacing as it is. Just remove this one. It's gonna be 0. And we're gonna add the initial padding, so the initial spacing. So like the previous one, we had this as a 20. We had this guy as 40. All right. So I think this should be good. Let's go ahead and run this one more time and see what we have. Also, I want to look at the stack view and see, do we have spacing over here? So the stack view, go to identity, and yep, I felt like it looked congested. So I'm just going to add it like 20 so that we have some spacing in each category. All right. So before we test that, let's run this one more time. Okay. So this looks pretty good, I guess. Let's see. All right. So this looks good, but I guess I'm gonna add a little bit more space in here. Or, well, let's just leave that. So we're gonna fix the one at the top. So I'm just gonna go over to our, where's that called? The portrait stuff. Well, not the portrait, the Main.Storyboard actually. And what we wanna do is remove the bound stuff right here, okay? And another thing I want to do actually is I want to change the background color of our entire view. So this isn't exactly, so it's using the system background. I want us to use something a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to click on custom, and for this place let's just use 249, I think. 249, 249. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, this looks good. And not too brown. Okay, let's run this again and see what we have. Okay, this is much better. Another thing I want to do, so we have our shadow over here looking good. Another thing I want us to do is, so you can see that the calorie stuff didn't work, right? So let's go and fix that. So we're going to go to the model, our dish model, and so I'm going to make this .2f, and I want to add calories just after the text. So let's run this now, and hopefully this should be good, I think. Okay, so now we have this, and we have it as 2 decimal places. So for the integers, they added 0, 0. For this one's like that. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Then I think I don't really like how this guy is in decimal format. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this an integer. All right. So I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna make this an integer. Okay. So we're just gonna make things very easy and just say return, and we're gonna be returning the calories with default of 0, like this. Let's run this now and let's see if it looks good. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have like 10? I don't know. But I just prefer this guy to be like a whole number, right? So it should just be an integer. So is there an error somewhere I'm not aware of? Okay, so this, yeah, we're gonna need to change this, make them integers. Okay. Alright, so this looks pretty good. This looks great, in fact. Do you like what you see? There's one more thing I see here that we're going to need to work on, and that is the image. So we need this to fill, aspect fill. So we're going to go over to our dish cell portrait, and we're going to change the aspect ratio. What's the aspect ratio? Just click on the image, and right at this part, the content mode, sorry, I'm going to make that aspect fill. So let's run it again and see what we have. And we're actually done with this video, so you can just play around and do whatever designs you have in mind. I'd like to actually see what you are, see how creative you are, right? Okay, so yeah, this is more like it, and we can actually give the image a little bit of corner radius, just so that it isn't so sharp. So we're gonna go back to, let's go back to the image right there, and make sure it's selected, and right in the corner radius, we're just gonna add 5. Let's run this, and this is gonna be the last thing we do in this video. We made good progress. Okay, so we have the slight curve at the edge, and we have our shadow looking good. We have the card. There's no scroll, anything like that. And let's do something dangerous and rotate our device. And interestingly, everything still looks good. So it's actually pretty nice. So if you add more, it's gonna go, it's gonna add more like that to the end like that. And if you add more like this. So we're making good progress. See you guys in the next video.